We had done this thing last time, but we'll quickly run through them and then proceed. These 2-3 sentences we have already done for new paragraph. At the glow-warm top of the pale glimmer realm, where dawn seen gambol with the native dull, and held the day to grow and night to fail, escaping over a wide and shimmering reach, he came into a realm of early light and the regency of a half-risen sun. At the glow-warm top. See what a perfect use of the word glow-warm. It glows in the night. It glows in the night. And normally it is the sea-worm, glow-worm, sea-worm who glows. The male and the female who glows, not the male, you see. Or the glimmer realms, ascending scale of the sun, where dawn sheen gambols with its native dusk, the whole of inconscience down below, all the way up to nations. That is the native dusk. And at the top you see kind of dawn light coming up there now, you see. And held the day to grow and night to fail. So as he climbing up, held the day to grow, ignorance became less and less. Coming now on the verge of becoming true knowledge, ignorance, and night to fail, see. Escaping over a wide and shimmering bridge. Wide and shimmering bridge. Shimmering bridge. That is the character of the overmind. It shimmers, the light is shimmering there, you see. Shimmering bridge. He came into a realm of early light. That is the early light. Not the full light of supermind, but the kind of reflection of supermind in the lower hemisphere, at the top of the hemisphere. He came into the realm of early light and the regency of a half-risen sun. Half-risen sun, because the day which is growing slowly, so it is the half-risen sun there, say. It is not a full arc of supermind. The light is there, it is only half light, light of ignorance. Regency, I told you last time, this early light, this overmind, is acting as an agent, as a regent of supermind. As a regent, he is working here on behalf of the supermind. He is the one carrying the duties of the crown, overmind here, you see. Out of his rays our minds full orb was born. So you see, it is out of that supermind, that overmind, our mind has come up. So our mind has not come directly from supermind. It is through the passage of our mind that our mind has come up, you see. Now the whole story is going to be the story of mind. In these couple of cantos, he is going to describe it. So this is the kind of preface of that. Appointed with the spirit of the worlds. This is what I was telling you last time, spirit of the worlds. It is the supramental creative power in cosmic manifestation. In cosmic manifestation, supramental power, creative power of supermind in cosmic manifestation is the spirit of the worlds. Spirit of the world. And the parallel which I had told you last time was the world force, the consciousness force becoming life here through the world force is now kind of in parallel with supermind becoming mind through the spirit of the worlds here. To the spirit of the worlds here. See. So there is a kind of a parallel. In other words, supermind has become mind consciousness force of Satchidananda has become life here, and that is how the evolution is taking place here, you see. Spirit of the world, appointed by the Spirit of the world. Who is appointed? This our mind. This region is appointed by the our mind to mediate with the unknowing depths of darkness of ignorance. A prototype of depth intelligence, half poised on equal wings of thought and doubt, toils ceaselessly twixt beings hidden ends, neither the top nor the bottom or the hierarchy of creation is seen. Apad Ashirsha, that is what the Rigveda says. Apad, his feet are not seen. Apad Ashirsha, he has no head. You see, neither the head of it is seen, nor the feet of it is seen. You see, but the Rishi knows it that there is a head and there are feet also. You see, beings hidden and they are hidden because we are in a world of mind only, and mind is incapable of seeing those extreme ends, the bottommost and the topmost. Mind is incapable of that. It has no faculty at all to see them, you see. So, it is prototypal depth intelligence, prototypal. It creates types and multiplies them. Prototype means it creates types and multiplies them. Once you make a design, you build up a model, then you build up a prototype, and when the prototype is perfected, the engineering is done perfectly, then you go into production in multiplication. So that is the prototypal depth intelligence. It has created half poised on equal wings of thought and doubt. Equal wings. So one wing is thought, one wing is doubt. You see, that is the character of the mental being here. Toy ceaselessly picks beings hidden and a secrecy breathe in life's moving act. So now the life is moving, there is somebody who is carrying on the work behind that secrecy. A covert nurse of nature's miracle. Covert nurse of nature's miracle. Who is that nurse? Secrecy is the nurse. Secrecy is the nurse carrying out nature's miracles. Yes, nature has really produced wonderful things. Prakriti, she has produced wonderful things. There was no life at all, and you see millions and millions of shapes and forms and living creatures all around, in water, in the mountain, in the rocks, in the rivers, everywhere, creatures like that. That is nature's miracles. It shaped life's wonders out of matters, but really it's a remarkable thing, and it has happened only on the earth. It has not happened anywhere else in the entire astronomical creation. No star, no other galaxy, no other planet has this miracle of life. Earth is a chosen center for the evolutionary progress. You may say, you may ask why specifically Earth, but that is the will. You can't help it. It has been decided so to concentrate the effort of evolution, to focus the attention of divine manifestation. A particular place has been chosen to concentrate, to fully focus the effort. A particular place has been done. Once it is done in this place, then it can multiply in other places in their own different ways. You see, for instance, it is a kind of a wild speculation. If tomorrow there is going to be life divine upon the earth, and it will be there, life divine upon the earth, but that life divine upon the earth will have its effects, its impacts, its powers to do something else in other places. The life divine is not going to be static there. Now, for each star, each planet, each astronomical object, it has a specificity of its own, and it is that specificity of its own will get manifested because now that possibility has been opened out by the divine manifestation upon the earth. So, for the multiplicity of such a large cosmic manifestation, the stars are there for nothing. They are kind of waiting for things to happen first on the earth. And when it happens on the earth, then they will have their own way of developing, growing, expanding, expressing themselves in their own divine ways. Divine ways. So that will be the joy of multiplicity of the divine creation throughout the entire cosmos. So it is no more than only the earth. Earth becomes the focal point, the center of activity to concentrate the effort. Earth becomes, and then it will multiply. A secrecy breathed in lies moving and a covered nerves of nature's miracle. It shaped lies wonders, it secrecy, lies wonders out of matter's mud. Really, it has really shaped. It cut the pattern of the shapes of things. It pitched mind's tent in the wind, in the it pitched mind stand in the vague, ignorant one. It pitched, I am, mind stand, spotty, into way, in the spirit, vague, egg, spotty, the runt, and a pest. It pitched, mind stand, in the vague egg, the runt vast. A master magician. So he is describing depth intelligence, he is describing secrecy, he is describing now the master magician, what kind of wonders he has done. What is the wonder he has done? A master magician of measure and device. That is the very character of mind. Measure. To measure out things, to span out things, to divide, to digitalize everything, to discretize everything. That is the character of mind. Mind limits each action to a specific kind of a thing. You have got a long infinite line, but then you put 1 meter here, 1 meter there, 1 meter there, 1 meter there, like that. You see, you have got a railway line running from one end to the other end, and you have got different stations at every point. So that is the mental creation, so to say. He has made in eternity from recurring forms, and to the wandering spectator thought, assigned his seat on the inconscient stage. So this magician has assigned the seat for mind to do something in the inconscient creation. This magician. What is that? Mind is a measurer. Mind is a measurer, basically. Therefore he uses magician of measure and device. Assigned a seat on the inconscient stage on earth with the will of this arch intelligence over mind. He is the arch intelligence over mind. A bodiless energy put on matter's robe. Really, what is not physical, energy has no physical content. Now it is finding a container for itself in a body, in matter. That is the magic, that is the work of the arch intelligence. Bodiless energy put on matter's robe. Yeah, well, as I told you last time or earlier also, let me just repeat quickly. World force is the aspect of consciousness force in cosmic working, world force, and that is what we had called in Jagat Shakti, world Jagat Shakti. Jagat Shakti. Same way, spirit of the worlds is the aspect of supermind in the cosmic manifestation, gives rise to mind, and spirit of the world, that is what we are calling as Jagat Atman, self, world, spiritual world. Jagat Atman. So the entire cosmic manifestation of life and mind is proceeding from Jagat Shakti and Jagat Atman, if you want to use the terminology that we see. A bodiless energy put on matter's robe, proton and photon served the imager eye, proton and photon. Proton is the material aspect of matter. Photon is the energy aspect of matter. Proton and photon, the energy aspect of matter. Proton and photon served the imager eye, one who creates the imager eye. For instance, you have got a thermal imager, it will create the image of thermal power. You are sitting here, for instance, now you go away from the chair, yet the thermal image which is there around you will remain there for some time. See, your body has a certain temperature, and around that thing, the temperature will be there. So you will get a complete thermal image of yourself, although you are not present there. You see, that is called thermal imaging. You see, like that. So that is the imager. He is creating images like that. You see. In fact, that is what happens in science many times. See, you are sitting at a place in a dark room, completely dark room. For a long time, you are sitting there, and there is an infrared camera there in front of you. Camera is just watching you at the moment. You see. And then later on, you walk away from the chair. The camera will capture your image completely on the screen. You see, completely. So that is the imager, you see, thermal imaging. You see. So this is a very rich kind of a science also. Proton and photon served the imager eye, the aspect of matter, the aspect of energy are acting as the imager I, capital I, all that intelligence, you see. Proton, we are of course very familiar, although the word proton came much later in the history of science, in the history of physics. Its mass is 1.6273, 10 to the minus 27 kilogram. The mass of the proton, you see. 10 to the minus 27 kilogram, and it has a, what is called a spin, half spin. Proton. Photon is a particle of light. Photon is a particle of light. And because it is light, it is never at rest. It is never at rest. And therefore the photon has zero rest mass. It has zero rest mass because it is never at rest, you see. It is never at rest, you see. The amount of mass, if at all you want to assume the h nu by c square, that is the mass of a photon, nu is the frequency of the light, h is the Planck constant, c is the velocity of light, h nu divided by c square is the mass of a photon, you see. So the mass of a blue photon is more than the mass of a red photon, you see, that you see. And photon has spin 1. Photon has spin 1. Proton has a spin half. It runs. That is the physical terminology of proton and photon, you see. Well, the modern description of proton and photon. Proton belongs to what one calls fermion. And photon belongs to what is called boson. Bose particle, Fermi particle, you see, fermion and boson. Now, what it means is that they follow certain kind of statistical laws. Material particles and energy particles, they follow different statistical laws. Material particle. The material particles like proton, electron, neutron, these particles follow the Fermi-Dirac statistics, and therefore they are called fermions, you see. And particles like photon, neutrino, with zero mass practically. They are following the Bose-Einstein statistics and they are simply called boson, you see. So basically you can think like this. Boson is an aspect of energy of matter. Proton is an aspect of materiality of matter. Energy in aspect and the materiality of aspect is proton and photon. Materiality, fermion, energy, photon, boson, like that you see. So, in other words, basically, the physics says that you had two types of material particles, fermions and protons. Sorry, fermions and bosons, you see. Now, the particles which take part in interactions between electron and electron, there is a kind of interaction. Between electron and a proton, there is an interaction. The particle which participates in interaction is called a boson, you see. So it is a particle of force, it is a particle of energy, boson, and proton is means the real mass of matter lies in fermion, proton, neutron, electron, like that you see, whole like. So proton and photon served now. So one aspect is the bosonic aspect, the other aspect is the fermionic aspect. These two aspects of matter are creating the image of this material rope, which is very true.
World, material world.
These two, the fermionic and the bosonic aspects of matter are creating a rope of matter's rope, you see.
Rope. Rope of matter.
See, how is matter constituted? Matter by itself.
Rope.
Rope.
Rope. What do you mean rope?
Cloth around you.
Ah, okay.
I mean, this is my robe, this is your robe, like that. You see.
Okay. A dress.
Matter's robe. They are putting on the dress of matter.
Okay.
They are putting on the blind energy is putting on the dress of matter. Is becoming materialized.
Yeah.
Is becoming materialized. You see. That is what it means. Is basically. In other words, you have formless energy. How from formless energy has matter arisen? This is what he says that from formless energy, energy has arisen because of this imager I constituting proton and photon, the bosons and fermions of physics. They make the material object, you see. So that is the kind of a new way of looking at the physics of things, you see. Basically, what it means is that, you see, we have got a famous equation of Einstein, the equivalence of energy and mass. Energy and mass, E equal to mc square, that is what we know, everybody. Now, in other words, matter and energy are interconvertible. Matter and energy are interconvertible. Now, basically, all along we have been talking only of matter and not of energy. So the substratum of this matter is the energy. And it is that energy which you have to really understand. And it is that bodiless energy which is now taking a shape and a form. It is that bodiless energy which is taking a shape and form. Well, I was telling you in terms of physics again, you see, we had talked of bosons and fermions. Bosons are the particles of light. Fermions are the particles of matter. Particles of energy, particles of matter, you see. Now, it is possible to interconvert them. It is possible. Means two material particles can destroy themselves each other and become energy. Can become energy. Same way, energy can appear as material particles. The materialization and dematerialization is a constant process which goes on here, and it is that which is constantly going on behind the scene. Actually, we are not aware of it. Protons and photons serve to measure I, to change things subtle into physical world. So how the concrete world has taken place? Because of this imager I. It is his design that energy has become the physical world now. And the invisible appeared as a shape. That's a miracle. That is a great miracle. Arch intelligence work, you see. And the invisible appeared as a shape, and the impalpable was felt as mass. You see, we are talking now, for instance, you see a huge big statue of Buddha. Now it's a concrete statue, absolutely. But then around it there is such an atmosphere of luminous peace, which is not material, but it is present there. Now it is that which has created out of its own shape and form, you see. So you can as well say that it is not that the statue of Buddha in a stone has created peace. You can as well say that it is that peace which got itself formed in the form of a statue. Magic, that is magic. Magic of percept joined with concepts art. Percept and concept. Again, very metaphysical term. You perceive certain things. You conceive certain things, you see. Percept belongs to the faculty of understanding. Concept belongs to the faculty of knowing. Actually, percept is what you might call, in the Sanskrit terminology, percept belongs to sabjnana and concept belongs to vijnana. Sabjnana and vijnana. See, beyond mind, the faculty of mind perceives, mind conceives, the faculties of vijnana and sabjnana. The sense behind the senses is sabjnana, that is the perception. You perceive certain things from an object. You perceive something from an object. There is something and the object is kind of trying to tell you something and you perceive that thing by projecting yourself on it. Perceive that thing. Same way the object is also able to tell you something, and if you are capable of listening to what the object is telling you, then it becomes concept. So you have got percept and concept in the form of apprehending knowledge and comprehending knowledge. Comprehending knowledge is perception. Apprehending knowledge is conception. So you have got the faculty of apprehending knowledge and comprehending knowledge. Now these two are absolutely the faculties of overmind. Supermind. Supermind has simultaneously with it both these aspects of perception and conception, of apprehending consciousness and comprehending consciousness. It apprehends and comprehends. Whereas when you come down below now, when you are coming down below now, it becomes more and more comprehending than apprehending. When you are coming to your mind, it becomes more and more you try to comprehend certain things. You don't have the faculty of receiving what that object is telling you. See. So, magic of percept joined with concepts art. See, in one single line, the whole philosophy is the whole light divine is kind of packed, you see. Whole light divine is packed. The magic of percept joined concepts are, and learn to each object an interpreting name. Because this is a magic. So you call now this rose, this as a jasmine flower, this as a chair, this as a book, whatever you call this, like that, you see. And learn to each object an interpreting name. Idea what is, guys, in a body's artistry. Really, our body, we see only the physical part of the body. We don't see the idea which really builds that body. We don't have no idea of what that idea, how that idea has built our body, you see. How by its process of transformation, of materialization it has happened. By the alchemy of proton and photon, how it has happened, of that we have no knowledge, you see. Idea of this guide in body's artistry by a strange atomic laws mystic. How? by a strange atomic laws mystery. What is atomic law? Atomic law is breaking smaller bits into making small bits of things like that. That is atomic law. Fragmentation, infinite fragmentation. That is the atomic law. By fragmentation, what the Vedas say, Rig Veda say, tuchena, as if it is thrown into small droplets. You see, that is the atomic law of breaking, atomic parceling. We have seen that word parceling by atomic law. A frame was made in which the sense would put a symbol picture of the universe. So out of that then the sense appeared, you see. Now this is the entire philosophy of materialization of proton and photon, you see, completely. Even, well, so that is how it has happened. From down below, a picture of the universe was created. But then that is not a great enough miracle. A greater miracle is there. Even a greater miracle was done. This mediating light, this overmind, has brought down from above the fragmentation, the atomic law, it gave shape to energy and form. To energy, it gave shape and form, you see, by the technique of atomic law. That is a real miracle. How the infinite has become innumerable, this is what I was telling you last time. How the infinite has become by the atomic law. So that is really a miracle. But then there is still a greater miracle than that. The great miracle is the mediating light linked body's power, the sleep and dreaming of the tree and plant, the animal's vibrance and the thought and man, the effulgence of a ray above. So while the depth intelligence has produced by the atomic law shape and form, it also is doing something. From above it has happened. The great miracle is linking up now from below to the above. Linking up from below to the above. From above to the below has happened. Now from below to the above. Mediating light linked body's power, the physical, the lower world, the overmind, that's the body's power. Mediating light, that is the overmind. Body's power, linked body's power. The sleep and dreaming of the tree and plant. See, they are not aware of what they are. Tree and plant and animal and thought and man, they are not aware of what they are, but it is because of this mediating light, it can be connected with the ray above. Means from below to the above, the link is the overmind. Mediating light linked body's power to sleep and dreaming of the tree and plant, the animal's vibrance and thought in man, the effulgence of a ray above. So that is a greater miracle, really a greater miracle. To link up the lower to the above, to the higher, is a greater miracle than linking up the higher to the lower, you see. His skill endorsing matters right to think. In other words, he is giving full value to this lower creation. The lower creation has a purpose, has a content, has a meaning, has a stuff in it, and that stuff can be linked up to the higher power, you see. His skill endorsing matters right to think, cut sentient passages for the mind of flesh, and found a means for nations to know. How will this ignorance, all this inconscience know that there is something up above? How will it know that this inconscience will know that there is superconscience? How will it know? It is by this miracle of this intermediate light which is connecting the nations to the upper one, you see.
The skill of whom? Of the matter?
Huh?
It's skill. The skill of whom? Of the
His
matter?
skill.
Of whom? The skill of whom? skill.
A greater miracle was done.
Skill of whom?
I think the overmind. Or is it
The same thing.
29?
Of the matter, maybe. Of the
No,
matter.
no.
Arch intelligence.
6629.
Arch intelligence.
No, 6629.
The what?
A skill endorsing matters
What
right.
is its
Yeah.
skill?
The skill of whom?
It's, what is it?
Its
Skill.
skill.
Of that arch intelligence.
Of the intelligence.
Yeah.
Not of the matter. Yeah.
Of that arch intelligence. Endorsing matters right to think. It is that alone, that your mind alone can do that kind of a thing, you see. As I said, while it is coming down and doing this kind of thing, now how that inconscience, how that nation going to know that there is something above? It is by the skill of this overmind which is connecting here, you see. A skill endorsing matters right to think, cut sentient passages for the mind of flesh, material of the vital mind, and found a means for nations to know. How will nations otherwise know? That is really a great miracle, to linking up this lower creation, this ignorant creation, to the higher world of knowledge. That linking up is done by this arch intelligence, by the overmind. So the power of overmind is double. It is bringing down something from above. It is also raising up something from below, up like that. You see. And found a means for nations to know, offering its little squares and cubes of world. It's same thing. Its little squares and cubes of world as figure substitutes for reality, a mummified mnemonic alphabet. It held the unseen force to read her words. That is the greater miracle. How nations are going to know? That is really a greater miracle. I am a stupid fellow, how am I going to be wise? By following this path, you see. That is a greater miracle, you see. Now, this is a wonderful thing, you see. Shebando, offering its little squares and cubes of word. You know what is squares and cubes of word? No idea? Yes. See, after all, he was a Cambridge scholar, Shebando, and he knew everything, so to say. His background was solid. Square and cube, it is a game of words.
What?
Game of words. Game of words. Now I will give some examples. Can you read out something? Now first you see, here, this square, A, on, no. The first row, second row, on, no, you see. Now you take the third bit. First row is bit, second row is eyes, third row is 10. Same way, first column is bit, second column is eyes, third column is 10.
So this is what we place in
Let me give you the bigger example. Take this heart.
I didn't know
This heart.
word square.
You can say it clearly. Heart. See, the first it starts with heart at the first row and also at the first column.
Yeah.
Heart. Now the second row it begins with E, H-E, ember, and the second column is also ember. The third row is abuse,
Yes.
and third column is also abuse. You can focus on this one, then you'll get. That is square. Square of world square. See, it is forming a perfect square. Just enlarge this one slightly.
Also magic square.
It's not it is forming a square. It is see, same number of rows and same number of columns. Same number of. So you start with so people play games like that.
Yeah.
Play game. Now this is one example of it, and there are so many other examples.
Interesting.
For instance, now last one, trend, column and row.
Mark is saying it has like occult meaning.
Occult?
Yeah.
No, this is a game. This is a game at the moment.
But this is
Yeah, that is the earlier mythological thing. Now you see, for instance, now square, Sator square is a famous word square in Latin. Its canonical form reads as follows: Sator, Arepo. They're forming a square. Now this is 5 by 5 square. This one. And here you have got many examples. This has no meaning. People keep on playing games like that, and they only work sound. You see. And here we give some example. See, this is very clear. Heart, amber, like that. You see. Up to so many like that. You see. 10 squares. Orang-utang, vertical. Now starts with R and then you come playing orang-utang, you see.
I like this game. I like this game.
You like this one?
I will try to do it.
No? And see, now this is square. This is square. What we are talking here is, he says square and cube of words. What we are seeing here are squares. Square means the same number of columns and same number of rows. Now, you take this square and build up now on this thing above like that and make a cube of it.
Oh my God.
That is cube word. Word cube. People have done that thing also, word cube. You see. You start with heart, etc. and then you build up another layer like that. So that is a cube, you see.
So it gets interdimensional also, three-dimensional.
It's a huge affair.
Yeah.
Huge affair, you see. And people, you see, in fact, there are sites where you can invent something and publish them also like that, you see.
You'll be famous.
So, you see how casually say, offering its little squares and cubes of word, how casually he is saying, squares and cubes of word. This is pure Cambridge scholarship, you see. I don't think we have such a thing in other languages. In English, well, in Latin they used to have something like that, or like that, you see. I don't know, you have anything like that in French? I don't think so. In French?
The game?
Huh? This kind of a game? Square, forming? No.
No, but it was in French, didn't see? The square.
Hebrew.
No, that is Hebrew. Hebrew is there. Hebrew is there, yeah. It started with that.
Numbers.
Yeah. Actually, there are some theological words also like that, you see. So,
You know
offering is little squares and cubes of word.
the Sudoku. Do you know the game, the modern game of Sudoku? It's Japanese game with the number.
No, here it's only word.
I know this is much difficult, but the
You see,
Sudoku is number.
there, you can put names also sometimes.
Yeah.
Proper names. You can put proper names also sometimes like that, you see. And then build up the square or cube, whatever you like, you see. All then proper names. Every column like that, you see. So offering its little squares and cubes of word as figure substitutes for reality. Well, that is how you kind of amuse yourself also, you see. A mummified mnemonic alphabet. It is it is a kind of a mnemonic alphabet, memory for quick memories. It helps this unseen force. It helps the unseen force to read her works. So it is not so useless. That intelligence is kind of building up something by developing its own intelligence more and more. You see. It helped the unseen force to read her works. A buried consciousness arose in her, and now she dreams herself human and awake nature. But all was still a mobile ignorance. Well, you have played with all these games and whatnot. Wonderful things you have done, achieved so much. Proton, all those things you have done, you see. And you have chosen. But it is still what? Ignorance only. In fact, the entire domain below our mind is ignorance. Ignorance begins with nescience all the way up to our mind. Our mind also is a part of ignorance. It is an early light, but still it is a part of ignorance. Our mind is a part of ignorance. Ignorance, see, we have seen now that the multiplicity of forms, breaking of discretization, digitalization starts with our mind. The creation of multiplicity is the function of our mind. Now, our mind has the power to create multiplicity. So it has a knowledge of multiplicity without the knowledge of unity. Without the knowledge of unity. Knowledge of multiplicity without the knowledge of unity, that is the character of our mind. And therefore it is still a part of the ignorance. It is at the top of the lower hemisphere. It is at the top of the lower hemisphere, but still it is a part of ignorance. The real knowledge begins with supermind, as I told you, where you have the knowledge of both multiplicity and unity simultaneously. Simultaneously, knowledge of unity and multiplicity. Now, in order to discretize, supermind is throwing itself into cosmic manifestation, holding back his power of unity. Because if the power of unity is also there, then no gain. He is throwing back himself into cosmic manifestation by holding back the power of unity. Then only the materialization, the digitalization, the discretization, the infinite becoming innumerable becomes possible. That is our mind creation, you see. But all are still immobile, ignorant. Still knowledge could not come, and finally come this huge invention as a universe. Obviously it cannot come at all. A specialist of logic's hard machine imposes rigid artifice on the soul and aid of the inventor intellect. It cut truth into manageable bits. Well, that is the character of mind, of our mind also. Manageable bits, because otherwise how can the multiplicity appear? That each mind has his ration of thought food. Each one must have his own idea, his own position. The indivisible becomes multiple divisions. Indivisible becomes multiple divisions. Each individual then becomes an entity by itself with its own character, with its own feature, with its own quality. That is important. Qualityless has to acquire qualities. Qualityless has to acquire qualities. And that is the work, that is the creation of our mind. New built to slain body by its own, a robo, exact and serviceable, and false, displaying the spirit's finer view of things. Obviously, a polished engine did the work of a god. The polished engine did the work of a god, you see. Mobile, it has become motorcycle. It's a polished engine doing the work of the immobile of God. You see. A polished engine did the work of a God. None the true body found, obviously, because it is part of ignorance. It is only multiplicity. Its soul seemed dead because it's an engine. It is a mechanical device only, kind of a thing, you see. Therefore, its soul seemed dead. None had the inner look which sees truth's whole. It cannot see the whole. In fact, the very character of mind is such that it cannot see the whole. It is meant to be divisive. It is meant to be divisive. It is a kind of functional need to be divisive, and it is there like that. None had the inner look we see to soul, all glorified, glittering substitute. Then, so this is what is happening from below above, from above below. Then, from the secret heights, a wave swept down. As it is climbing up the great miracle, a brilliant chaos of rebel light arose. It looked above and saw the dazzling peace. It looked within and woke the sleeping God. The sleeping God down below in the nations, in the nation, the sleeping God, in the inconscient Vishnu. He is there lying asleep there, inconscient, looked within and woke the sleeping God. So this is the great miracle, that this God which is asleep here has now woken up, is moving up, climbing up the ladder of evolution. He is woken up, he is climbing up the ladder of evolution. It looked above and saw the dazzling peace. It looked within and woke the sleeping God. What a perfect description, the whole thing, you see, a complete elaborate description. Imagination, God is shining up. Now, how it has happened? How it has happened? See, above, below, here described how it has happened. The first thing which has come is imagination, called shining spots that venture into undiscovered scenes. You think it is an imagination, but it is a power of the creative over mind. It is the power of the creative over mind, imagination. Called a shining swan that venture into undiscovered scenes, where all the marvels lurk, none yet was known. Lifting her beautiful and miraculous head, her imagination, lifting her beautiful and miraculous head, she conspired with inspiration sister brood to fill thought skies with glimmering nebulae. So, while this double game is going on, comes imagination, comes inspiration. These are the higher powers which are operating in the entire scheme of things, you see. Imagination, and then of course, her sister brood, inspiration, her. So inspiration is also feminine. Imagination is also feminine, you see. She conspired with inspiration, sister brood. See, basically, in other language, in other terminology, between mind and over mind, you have got grades of consciousness, grades of mind, spiritual mind, the higher mind, the illumined mind, the intuition, and then the over mind. So now he is talking in terms of imagination and inspiration. Inspiration is one of those powers, of revelatory power of things, you see. The Vedic rishis would say, Ida Saraswati Mahi. He speak of those goddesses. So these are the goddesses, inspiration and imagination. They are the goddesses working here. Intuition. To fill thought skies with glimmering nebulae. A bright error. French. The mysteries, art of phrase. Mysteries, art of phrase. Bright error. Well, this is a purposeful error of supermind, also of our mind. It is created, it is making an error, purposeful error, bright error, functional error. Darkness grew nurse to wisdom's occult sun. Because of that, the darkness grows to the occult sun. You see? the sun is rising because myth suckled knowledge with a lustrous milk. So you have got first imagination, then you have inspiration. Now the myth, mythology, they are not foolish things, they are also functional. Myth suckled, she is also effeminate. Her lustrous milk, the infant passed from dim to radiant breast. So by imagination, by inspiration, by myth, Ida Saraswati Mahi, Brahati, by these goddesses, things are happening like that. You see. The infant passed from dim to radiant breast. Still, it is in our mind world, radiant breast. Thus worked the power upon the growing world. So that's a great miracle. That is how this power, it starts with depth intelligence. That is the power right in the beginning was talked of. Thus worked the power upon the growing world. A subtle craft withheld the full-orbed blaze. Withheld the full-orbed blaze. That is important. The full supermind is not allowed to function, so to say, because there cannot, supermind, so to say, will not allow this multiplicity to appear. It will not be functional that way. A subtle craft with the full, let me see if I got something. Thus worked the power upon the growing world. This power, it starts with arch intelligence, prototypal depth intelligence, imagination, inspiration, might. Power related to the spirit of the world. This power is related to the spirit of the world. The power of the spirit of the world. Spirit of the world. So basically, we have got this hierarchy. Spirit of the world, secrecy, magician, arch intelligence, mobile ignorance, imagination, inspiration, myth, power. Power, spirit of the world. Basically, this power will stand for the spirit of the world. Thus work the power, the spirit of the world, upon the growing world. In subtle craft withheld the full of the flame. Cherish the soul's childhood, that is how it is growing up, the soul. And on fiction spread, far richer in the sweet and nectarous sound, nourishing its immature divinity than the staple or dry straw of reason's till. So reason is a dry person. Stable, that is what it means. It's heaped fodder of innumerable facts. See, there is a difference between reason and myth. Mythology is so rich, so living, so vibrant. Imagination is also vibrant, swift, fast. Inspiration comes just like that. In comparison with that, what is reason? Staple of dry straw of reason till it's heaped fodder of innumerable facts. Plebeian fare, common thing on which today we thrive. We are living. The status is we are in the world of reason. And we are living, we are eating fodder. Basically, we are eating fodder, you see. Thus streamed down from the realm of early light, from the mind. Ethereal thinkings in the matter's world. He's kind of summarizing the whole sequence. His gold-horned heart trooped into earth's cave heart. Is of that early light, or that vermine, is gold-horned. The cows have gold horns. There is gold-horned heart. The cattle of Helios, according to Greek mythology, the cattle of Helios, his gold-horned heart trooped into earth's cave heart. In the darkness, in this cave, that is how those rays, gold-horned herd. Herd, the Sanskrit word for herd is go. Cow. Cow means go. Go. Cow means go. This one. So literally meaning is go means cow. But the sense of the Sanskrit word go is light. Prakash. Go stands for Prakash. Go, Gautama. He is best in light. Gautama, Uttama. Gautama. Go stands for light. So that is why Godhorn, us, cave heart, they are entered into the pen of matter. These cows have entered into the pen of matter in the density of matter, thus streamed down from the realm of early light, ethereal thinkings in the matter's world. His Godhorn heart trooped into us, cave heart. That is how things have happened here. They have got here. Now the whole search, the light has come down and it is kind of trapped in the depths of matter. The light, supramental light, the overmind light has come down here and is kind of trapped in the density of matter, in the thickness of matter. In the rocky mountain, it is kind of trapped there, you see. Now, the search for this hidden light in matter is the Vedic search of discovering the cows of light in matter. And the power of intuition is what is kind of coming into play to recognize Sarma, the divine dog. It senses where the light is present, where the cows are present. The divine dog, intuition, it senses where the light is present. And the rishi is led by this Sarma, the divine dog. Look, the light is present here in the depth of this darkness, in this night, in this rocky mountain. Open it and you'll see the light. In other words, basically, there is so much of light hidden in matter that you have to discover and find out its real sense of matter, what the matter is, you see. Its Godhorn has trooped. See, it's not just one cow, two cows, the whole cow, a whole lot of cows, herds, you see. 100 cows, 1,000 cows, they are kind of into earth's cave heart. Its morning rays illume our twilight's eyes. That is our twilight's eyes. Its young formations move the mind of earth to labor and to dream and new create, to labor and to dream and new create, to feel beauty's touch and know the world and self. For what? To feel beauty, to know what the world is, what the self is, to labor and to dream and new create, to feel beauty's touch and know the world, to feel I am beauty, touch, beauty's touch. I will say it's a critic. To feel beauty's touch, critic, and know I am, the world I am, and I am. So the second foot is a critic, long, short, long. To feel beauty's touch. What a wonderful phrase. Beauty's touch. Beauty's touch. Long, short, long. And see the T alliteration. To feel the beauty's touch and know the world and self. The golden child began to think and see. He is an infant lying here, and that is how he has started now, not only thinking but also seeing. What thought cannot give you, he has the sight to see certain things beyond that also. So that is the beauty of this Godhorn cows. So the whole section describes how from above it has come down, how from below things are rising up, how the golden child is growing and thinking and seeing things, you see. So that is the central philosophy of creation here, you see. In those bright realms, our minds. Now we are coming to section 67. Section 67 is a short one, 17 sentences, 66 lines, and 486 words. So this is a relatively short section, but again a very dense section, very dense section. 17 sentences, 66 lines, 486 words. It is short sentence. 486 words means just a paragraph in a prose. Roughly. In those bright realms, what are those bright realms? Depth intelligence, secrecy, magician, arch intelligence. That is what is it. Arch intelligence, imagination, inspiration, mythology. Those are the bright. So he is putting mythology also in bright realms. Bright realms. In those bright realms are mind's first forward steps. First forward step. Forward, it has come only up to the point of reason. But it has prospects to grow more than that, you see. Mind's first forward steps. Ignorant of all but eager to know all. Well, that is the mind, character of mind. Ignorant, poor fellow, but at the same time there is a kind of eagerness to know. Its curious, slow inquiry, there begins. Curious, slow inquiry, there begins in those realms of early light. Ever searching, it grasps at shapes around. Ever it hopes to find out greater things. Well, that is the character of search of mind. Mind is searching. Searching, it grasps and shapes around. Curious, slow inquiry. Slow inquiry. Slow is important because you would like to know all the details. Nothing should be missed. In a hurry, you might miss something. So every little bit it wants to know. It definitely wants. It may not be able to fully grasp it, but surely there is an urge to know every little bit. It's curious, slow. That is what is curious. Inquiry, there begin, ever searching. So now he is coming after the hierarchy of coming down, up and down, all that thing. He is now coming to mind proper. You see how logically the whole thing is developed. You see, ardent and golden gleamed with sunrise fire. What a line! Ardent and golden gleamed with sunrise fire. Alert, it lives upon invention's world. Alert, it lives. Ardent, talking, and gold. I am done. Gleamed, I am with sunrise fire. I am. It begins with talking and follows for am. Ardent and golden gleamed sunrise fire. See the alliteration, D and T and all that. Sunrise fire, ardent, R. Alert, it lives upon invention's world. Yet, all it does is on infant scale. Well, it is too small. It is attempting. It is curious to do everything, know every bit of it, but it has its own limitation. Yet all it does is on an infant scale, as if the cosmos were a nursery game. Infant, therefore a nursery game. The whole world, well, actually for a scientist, the whole pursuit of knowing the physical world is basically a nursery game. Basically a nursery game. Mind, life, the plaything of a titan's babe. It has a great ambition, desire to do that thing, titanic ambition. He is a baby of a titan looking for this kind of a thing. Mind, life, the playthings of a titan's babe. As one it works who builds a mimic fort. Well, he is giving a simile now. A child who builds a mimic fort, miraculously stable for a while. Yeah, you build up a sand fort. It is stable, stays there for a while. Made of the sands upon a bank of time. Mid an occult eternity's shoreless sea. As one it works. How does it work? Like one who builds a mimic fort. That is how the mind is constructing theories and hypotheses and postulates, trying to know things, but then basically it is a mimic fort built with sand on the banks of time. On the banks of time. As one who is a mimic fort, miraculously stable for a while, miraculously stable, well, it does work for a while. Tomorrow's theory will be different altogether. Made the sands upon a bank of time, mid and occult eternity, shoreless soul. Now, there is a problem here. Mind, life, plating. Basically, he is talking of golden stream, sunrise, fire, alert, it lives for mind. But then, yet all it does is on infant scale. In the revised edition, this it is she. Yeah, in the revised edition. In those bright times our minds first of all, ignorant of all but eager to know all, its curious slow inquiry there begins. Whose is that?
Maybe the
Her.
nature.
Her. Curious slow. Ever she hopes to find out greater things.
Who?
Ever she knows to find out greater things. Ardent, alert, she lives upon invention's words. Yet all she does is on infant scale, as if the cosmos were a nursery game, mind, life, playthings of a titan's brain. As one, she works who builds a mimic fort. Now, that it is converted is she. It seems that in the earlier manuscript, the first it, she had written it, but then changed to she. Shivananda himself had changed to she. In most of the, in general, in Savitri, mind is described as it. Mind is described as it. So this it here changing to she is not referring to mind. It is not referring to mind. It is referring to the power which is doing all these things.
But the power is she.
Power.
Power is she.
That puissance, that depth intelligence. See, it is that. These its were she in the original Chitpat manuscript. During dictation, he got she's changed to its. First he wrote it in his own handwriting, but when he was dictating it, he changed them to its in conformity with the pronoun for mind used in Savitri.
Why do you keep it?
Now that it stands for that earlier thing, puissance, depth intelligence, who is doing all the things. That power of our mind, that power of the spirit of world. Great puissance, power, 66.38. Thus worked the power. That she stands for this power.
Power, it's she.
66.38.
No, power in English, it's she.
She. Yeah.
She.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
he.
power, puissance, force, she. Power, Shakti.
So it's a Sanskrit, not English.
P capital. It is she who is working. So all this thing is a play of that power. Thus worked the power upon the growing world, that power. Depth intelligence, magician, all that thing we have seen earlier, those powers you see.
But,
The power of the spirit of the world.
it could be the intelligence also.
Intelligence, no, you see, he is referring now to the original power by which these things. The spirit of the verse is acting here as a power.
Yeah, it was the intelligence. We start the section, but
So they are different. Intelligence is, but what is act? In fact, they should be also C.
she also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should also be C. Music, secrecy, inspiration, mythology. He has called them C.
So, and you, what do you think?
So in those bright and ignorant of all, but eager to know, its curious, slow inquiry there begins. It's all that power. Ever searching, she grasps at shapes around. Ever she hopes to find out greater things. So that is important. I mean, he says the revised edition, they are given the explanation that these its, all those its which are here, were she's in the original chit-pat sheet. In Shiva's handwriting. During dictation, he got she's changed to its.
Okay.
To its. Now, whether you should go by what he has written or what he has dictated is a question mark.
I know, go by the latest.
I will go by dictation. I will go by dictation.
Yeah.
Although he has written himself in the chit-pat, she.
Oh, he has written she, then it got changed.
While in his own handwriting, chit-pat means a small little piece of paper on which he has written a few lines where he has got its. Now those its in the chit-pats she's in the chit-pat were converted into its during dictation. During dictation. I will say that it should remain its. Because when he is writing on a chit-pat sheet something in the particular moment of time, he is not seeing the earlier context and what is going to follow. Just a few lines are there on a small piece of paper. So the earlier text is not there to refer what that it could mean or what that she could mean. When he is dictating, the whole passage is being read out to him. And in that whole passage being read out, then the significance of pronoun becomes obvious to him. He converts all those she's into its during dictation. During dictation, he converts all those, because now he has got the complete text in front of him. The entire text is being read out to him. So it is its in the final. I would stick to its.
So, whatever it is, it or she, the meaning it's home, because in
Power.
French we
Now,
need
see-
to know if it's she or he. We
Now,
don't
you see,
know if it's-
now this is what I'm saying. Now, basically, this is what it means. If you are going to write she, it would refer to power.
Yeah, but
Now, when you are converting the she into its, it need not necessarily refer to power. It refers to mind.
so what do you think? It's
It
not
refers to
power
mind.
now.
Realms are mind's first power state. Mind's first power state. Mind which stands for its.
Okay, mine. No, it's mine. Okay.
Mind. So when the whole passage is being read out to him, then the context of the pronoun becomes clear. The context of the pronoun becomes clear, you see. In those bright realms are mind's first power state. Mind throughout in Savitri is its. Is its, you see. But she on a piece of paper, because he does not have the full context, he has written she, referring to that power.
Two different things.
So I will go back to its alone in the whole context.
But the first line of this section He is speaking about the mind.
Mind.
It's clear.
It's-
Why they see that
These people have done it because it is in own handwriting. They are more particular to preserve what is there in his own hand. Well, that is the archival policy or what you want to call it. What is present in his own hand is what they would like to keep.
okay, one question. Do you know if before he changed Sri Aurobindo to it, he wrote already the first line of this section? The first line of this section was mind. Mind first, forward step. It was there.
Mind
He
for
could
it's
see-
it has to be it's.
Okay, now my question. Sri Aurobindo, when he wrote in the beginning she, he had already the first line written or not?
See, basically, I will put it this way. Although on a chit pad sheet he has written its, while dictating it, he has converted those she's into its. But they have not given us how the entire passage got changed during dictation. Maybe, as a guess, after this power, all these lines were not present at all in the original manuscript,
Was that?
may not have been present, and therefore she is perfectly all right. Therefore she is perfectly all right. If these lines are also dictated anew later on, then that she loses its relevance.
But this you don't know. It means
Now we don't have access to see how that whole passage developed. How that whole passage, what was there in old handwriting, what was dictated, what was typed, what was then printed out, that whole sequence of development is not available for us to scrutinize. My guess is that maybe many of these lines are not present at all in the original draft when he wrote she. But if he has added these few lines afterwards, then that she loses its connection. That power is very far away. You see. Maybe the section was also started anew, we don't know. You see. At that point, I think we'll stop with that. Ever holds to find, yet all it does is on an infant scale, as if the cosmos were a nursery game, mind, life, the playthings of a Titan's brain, as one it was so big, it's a mimic fort, miraculously stable for a while, made an awful eternity, soulless sea. We stop with 60.5. See, again he says puissance, she.
Yeah.
Puissance, a small keen instrument, the great puissance chose. She, power. And there is that her here. Her puissance. So actually how the whole passage developed, we have no idea basically. We'll leave it at that point at this stage.